Hello viewers, SniperWolf1001 here, and today I'm just doing a little bit of a different video just to wind down to the end of 2019. So here I have all of my figures and all of my models here on the table displayed, and this is just going to be a little bit of I guess a showcase or a collection of all of the figures that I've collected this year and that I've done a review on. There's actually there's a few more models and figures that I got during Christmas time that I do plan on doing videos on them, but I really didn't want to rush them out just to get them out before 2019. So I will still be doing videos on the stuff that I got for Christmas, but I'll definitely do them in the coming weeks in 2020. But for now, I'm just showing all the stuff that I collected in 2019, and just taking a look at everything here. Even though I know that I did these videos, just having everything in one spot, it kind of makes it a little hard to believe that I actually collected so many things this year. It's like all this stuff, like most of the stuff can just barely fit on the table here. If I just start panning it around, you can see like I have everything here. So I got my XO2S Strike Wyvern there in the front. I got my Tigrex over here, the Palico multi-stand, my Velkhana model here, my Hunter with the Zinogre high rank armor. We got the Arsenal over there from Daemon X Machina. Of course, the Figurized War Greymon. The Omnimon or Omegamon Merciful Mode right there in the back. I got my Midnight Form Lycanroc plush hiding back there. Of course, my Sequoia 57 right next to it. And then, of course, the Metal Build Strike Freedom with its full package, full weapon package out there. And then, of course, the Destiny Gundam over there with its full weapon package. Or I guess you could say the Wings of Light. It's not really much of a weapon package. But yeah, just everything here all together. Pretty cool just seeing everything displayed here. I guess if I were to say what my favorite figures that I collected was for 2019, that's really a hard thing for me. Like I would really have to do either like a top 3 or a top 4, because right now, like I'd say that easily it goes without saying that the Metal Build Strike Freedom and Metal Build Destiny is definitely up there, just because in terms of quality, colors, build quality, all of the features and stuff that it comes with, these figures are just absolutely phenomenal. Like the Wings of Light look amazing. Of course, the features with the Strike Freedom with the Dragoons, the various weapons and stuff, how it holds the weapons and whatnot, like even the paints and everything just look amazing. Like honestly, this is like, I think this is definitely like the best looking figure that I have in my collection, and the Destiny is definitely no slouch there. I love the redesign on it. Wings of Light look really good. Of course, the anti-ship sword that it's wielding looking really good, and you can just see how much space that these models are taking. Of course, I organized everything from relatively the tallest in the back to the shortest in the front, and you can just see here, which with everything all together, you get a good size comparison of all of the models I collected here. The Destiny and the Strike Freedom, definitely the largest figures out of the bunch. You can see that they take up a lot of space. Easily the Strike Freedom is the largest out of all of them because of the Wings of Light. You see it has that large radial area that it takes up. There's just so much space that it utilizes. Like even putting my Omnimon Merciful Mode right there in between the two, it was kind of weird to try to get it into a good position, because like even the wings in the back would make contact with the Strike Freedom's Xiphias railguns, which is pretty interesting. And like of course those wings are just barely making contact with the Aerondyne anti-ship sword there. So very large figures, but I think the Destiny and the Strike Freedom would have to be in that top spot for sure. The other one that I really like was my Velkhana. The Velkhana was a very special one for me because, that came out of a really cool collector's edition, the Japanese collector's edition of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, which I did a review on. And there were so many cool things that came out of that collector's edition. I think that was definitely my favorite collector's edition that I've ever unboxed. There was just so many cool things with it. You know, like you had that metal plate, you had the little keychain with the Velkhana in like an ice crystal. Of course, you know, you have the Palico multi-stand here, which came with it. You know, all this cool stuff. You know, there's so many cool things, and I just really love the way Velkhana looks. Like, I think Velkhana is one of my favorite monsters in the series in terms of design. I think it also has a cool fight. Like, Velkhana is a really fun fight in my opinion. I really love fighting him. But in terms of design, definitely really cool. I hold his design pretty high up there with Elatrion. That's like my other favorite Elder Dragon. I think that's my absolute favorite Elder Dragon. Like, I don't think anything beats Elatrion for me. But like, Velkhana is definitely up there, and then below it would be Zinogre. So I think Velkhana would definitely be in that top spot for me as well too. Tigrex, of course, looks nice. I want to say that my Midnight Form Lycanroc would be in there too, just because it's a little bit different. You know, like on this table, you can definitely see that there's a lot of plastics, like different plastics and different metals here. And then you just have the one plushie in here, you know, very different, very fluffy and soft compared to everything that's around it. So, I don't know, like, I kind of wanted to say that the Lycanroc is up there, because Lycanroc's definitely, I'd say, is my favorite Pokemon. The plushie looks really good. They did a really good job making it, or designing it. And yeah, it's just very different from everything else here. But for a top four, I really liked the Exo-2S Strike Wyvern, so I might put that in there as well too. It's really tough to say that or my Sequoia 57 over here, just because the Sequoia 57, I love the size of it, and I like the fact that it's die cast as well too. So it's made out of a bit of a stronger material. It definitely doesn't feel cheap because of that little metallic feel that it has, and it's a lot larger, right? But this Sequoia 57 is not as significant as the Strike Wyvern to me, just because Ace Combat is one of my favorite games in general. So, you know, like, I think that I would hold the Strike Wyvern just a little bit higher than the Sequoia 57 over there. But yeah, I think out of all of these, oh yeah, and I also really loved the Merciful mode there too. It looks really good. The only issue with it is that there's some of the imperfections that came with it. But yeah, if I were to do a top four, I definitely say the Strike Freedom, Metal Build Destiny, Velkhana, and I suppose the Exo-2S Strike Wyvern. In terms of my least favorite that I've collected, I honestly might say the Arsenal from Daemon X Machina. And that's not to say that this is a bad model. Like, I do like it, but it's just my least favorite of the bunch. I still like it a lot, but when I just compare the Arsenal with everything here on the table, I feel that Arsenal doesn't really stand out very much. And on top of that too, like, it's not very significant to me because I haven't played Daemon X Machina yet. I really got to get on that. It's weird because it was definitely one of my highly anticipated games for this year, but I just still haven't gotten around to playing it. But yeah, like, I don't really have the attachment to Arsenal as I should have. So I kind of hold it in a little bit less regard than the rest of the stuff that I have here. And just in terms of detail too, you know, like, there's not really too much that's eye-catching about Arsenal either. Like, there's a lot of whites on it. You know, very few colors. Like, I like the way that the base looks, but, you know, there's not really much that stands out compared to everything here. You can just see that everything here is just very colorful. You know, the Destiny has, like, its wide array of colors. It's bright red wings that have color shifts through it. You know, the blues and the golds and, of course, the whites and stuff. So many different colors going through it. Of course, with the Strike Freedoms, the same thing with all the golds, the whites, the blues, reds, and blacks. Wings of Light, you know, the color shifts, whatnot. Same thing with Merciful Mode, Omnimon, Velkhana, and like all this other stuff. There's just so much colors. This is just, it's more or less kind of plain. And on top of that, the paint work, which I don't necessarily dislike this design, but it definitely feels like it was hand painted after construction, I suppose. So you can see that the texture on this is a little bit more rough. You can see that there's paint that's kind of like worn out, but but I'm not going to fault it in regards to that, because I think they were going for that approach because it's supposed to look, I guess, more realistic, like it's been through battles or whatnot. So I think they definitely went with that approach when it came to the paints on this, which looks good. But I just kind of prefer the cleaner aesthetic to some of these models. But yeah, I definitely say that in terms of my least favorite one, it's definitely the Arsenal over there. So if I were to say what my favorite figure that I've collected was from this year, I might have to say it's a really tough call between either the Strike Freedom and my Velkhana. Reason why is because Velkhana, Monster Hunter World Iceborne is probably my, well, the Iceborne is probably my favorite, my favorite expansion that I've ever played in a game. Like, they did so many good things with Monster Hunter World. They included like all my favorite monsters into the game, and they're still doing that even with the DLC recently. Like, they included like Stygian Zinogre and stuff. You know, that like honestly, like Iceborne, I would have to say is one of my favorite games. With the Strike Freedom, it's easily one of my favorite Gundams, design wise and tech wise as well too. I like the fact that it's definitely like one of my favorite archetypes for mechs. I like the fact that the Strike Freedom, it's a very balanced suit. It is a little bit more on the projectile side of things, but I like the fact that it can still handle itself in close quarters because it has the beam sabers, which you can connect end on end and then do a lot of cool stuff with it. It's definitely no slouch in close quarters combat, but it can definitely it's more than capable of handling itself at long range. You know, it has all the dragoons, it has the two beam rifles, the two rail guns, of course that big mega particle cannon in the chest, and of course it has that high material burst mode that I currently have it in with its pose. And, you know, of course, you know, there's a lot of stuff that it can do, and I really like that. But because like Gundam Seed Destiny was such an old show, and like the show does have its problems, I would say that I hold this just in a little bit lesser regard to my Velkhana here. So I think I would say that Velkhana is probably my favorite model figure that I've collected this year. But yeah, it's a very close call between this and the Strike Freedom for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I definitely enjoyed collecting these models, collecting a lot of these figures, a lot of stuff that I never really had to represent some of these series like Monster Hunter, Digimon and stuff. A lot of cool stuff here, which I'm pretty happy that I got. But with that, that's pretty much going to bring this video to a close. I hope all of you had an amazing Christmas. I hope your holidays were great. I hope that 2019 was a great year for all you guys, and I wish everyone the best in 2020. Definitely going to be a lot more content coming through in 2020, a lot more figure reviews and unboxings. I, of course, have more Monster Hunter stuff planned in January, and, you know, some more Gundam stuff and whatnot. There's definitely a lot more content coming in 2020, so I hope you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my videos throughout the year, and, you know, it's been fun doing the videos. So with that, I'll see you guys later, and I hope you guys have a nice night or nice day, depending on where you are.